from registering, which isn't so terrible. He hasn't granted any anyway. This governor might, but he hasn't yet. But traditionally, it's not really very likely governors do this. But according to the person I spoke with in Sacramento, if this law passes, a governor pardon will not stop obligation from registering, because those stopping registrations are already in place. So no one gets life for this, unless it's certain types of crimes, high-risk offenders, multiple victims, violating new laws. You can see the ones who should get life registration. So, but this AB 702 tiers talks about the tier system, tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. You should read it, because if this becomes law, it's going to really change everything, and our firms have to do some changing and rearrangement to find out, all right, if the law changes, how does a lawyer help them move to where they want to be? Where do we fit in here? I don't know that yet. Yes?
Is there anything that we as regular citizens and people affected by this stuff can help move this along? Is there anything that we can do to?
Well, if you read the bill, read the people who are pushing it through. This is some Democrat from San Francisco. What a shocker. What a shocker. But contact them, contact their office directly. Say, hey, I'm supporting this. What do I do? What can I do? What can I donate? What can I pass out? What can I do to reform? We're not saying every sex offender is running along the streets. Just reform it. Because now it's sort of like just everyone gets put into this big bowl. It makes no difference who you are, what you've done. You're in the same bowl. And now they're starting to see, well, there should be different bowls. Doesn't that make sense?
Well, if a person has served a sentence and has finished parole, why would they move out of state? Why would they stay here?
True. And I would recommend, I tell my clients, if there's, I can't get a certificate, or pardon's unlikely, or this, I just can't help this guy. Find a state that's more liberal on sex offenders. Now, I don't know those states, and maybe there are. Maybe this organization has a list of states that are more liberal, that don't require eternity registration for as long as you possibly live. Some may be more liberal. There are situations. Now, I don't know out-of-state laws, so I can't comment on what they would do and what how many years you have to register in that state. But I know certain states have only a limit. I know the state of Georgia, 10-year registration requirement. And then you no longer have to register. They figure in 10 years you behave yourself, that's good enough. You're no longer on the registry. So find states that are more liberal. And that's really what I tell people. Find that state that'll give you more relief. Now, some states do, some don't. Reversing it, if you lived in California and you moved to California from an out-of-state sex crime, California will order you to register on that out-of-state sex crime if you move here. If that crime out of state, had it been committed in California, would it require registration here? So all the elements have to be met. That out-of-state crime might be, you have to show that the kid was this age, and it happened here, and it was this, and you got to show these 5 elements of the crime. But in California, those 5 elements don't add up to a crime. You need 7 elements. Then they're going to say, no, you won't have to register here, because had that crime happened here, you would have to register here. So that's how California looks at it. Now, if the out-of-state looks at California convictions the same way, they can look at that too and say, well, had the crime in California happened here in Utah, would this require registration in Utah? And if the answer is yes, then I assume you have to register in Utah, but maybe they have a restriction. They might say 5 or 10 years and you're done. I always tell my clients, consider a more friendly state that's not as archaic, that requires life registration.
But if you are ordered by the court for lifetime registration in California and you move to another state that has a tiered system, now, are you still required for lifetime registration?
Not in California. Not in California. California says life. In California, they have no jurisdiction over it. When you're off probation or parole, they don't have any power over you at all, except one thing. If you live here, you've got to register. If you don't live here, just let them know that you're moving. Let them know where you're moving, and be on your way. And then you don't have to register in California. You're off Megan's Law, because you don't live here. You're off Megan's Law. So, but you have to let the people know, and you have to move to the state where they want. But as long as you're not on probation or parole, you can move anytime, anywhere, any place you want, as long as you follow the registration rules and requirements. And one caveat on registration, I've had a lot of 290 crimes. People who fail to register. Their birthday is September 1st. They come and September 1st is their birthday. So 5 days before that, you got to come in and register. They moved in late July. They re-registered in late July because they moved. They forget that only 3 weeks later, I got to go back to re-register. I was just here 3 weeks ago. you've got to re-register. I've had about 3 or 4 cases on that exact set of facts, but I just registered. And I got to come back. I don't care if you move August 25th and re-register. By August 26th, and within 5 days of the first, re-register the next day then if you have to. So it's hairy. It gets hairy that way. I've seen that happen in my cases. But you should read that assembly bill because it sounds like good things are coming, at least. Going at least the right direction. Yeah.
So where's the hang-up?
I don't know. Apparently, according to the smart people that I have in my office, I'm going to read the memo. I just got this to his office. Okay, yes, it is retroactive. He said to me, we just spoke. Right now, it's put on a list, and it said apparently it was thrown out temporarily, and it will not be considered until next year. I don't know what the hang-up is. You may want to contact them to find out, particularly the people in their office, the Assembly, the Democratic 17th District in San Francisco County. One second here. I don't know the hang-up specifically.
So it would be Amiano's office?
I'd contact him absolutely, because he'd give you all the information about that, because believe me, they're for it. Okay, Los Angeles, okay, Mike Gatto, Democrat 43rd District, Los Angeles, unilaterally ordered that AB 702 be placed into the Assembly suspense file, which means the bill was removed from further consideration from the remainder of 2013 legislative session. The bill may be reconsidered in 2014.
Is that Magnolia, M.A.?
Yeah, you mean the Democrat?
The one that's probably not the front. Yeah.
Our man, A-M-M-I-A-N-O.
Amiano. Okay.
Right. Now, contact this, call it this number, 916-319-3744. Ask some questions. They sponsored the bill and they're pushing it there. Oh yeah, it's A-M-M-I-A-N-O. Mike. So yeah, so find out, they may be able to give you more information about what the chances are of it. Mike Gatto was the one who apparently tried to remove it, and but Assemblymember Tom Amiano is trying to push his thing through.
So he's the friend.
The friend, right?
Okay, yeah,
The friend.
Amiano's the friend.
He's on our side.
Okay, great. Is there any, I'll definitely check into this, was there any more sense into this one, like the no hands-on, or is it complicated, even with that? Like,
The law?
there's the CP, is it,
The AB 702?
yeah, is it
No.
a little bit more friendly or make more sense?
Well, no, it does. It does. In a nutshell, just in a nutshell,
Yeah.
Tier 1 talks about a certain type of crime. It can't be a violent crime, like a 261A, 2-6, rape. Certain types of sex crimes that involve force. Certain types of crimes that are considered strikes. Certain types of serious crimes that are also registrable. That's not a Tier 1. It's got to be, and there's many of the others, sexual batteries, oh my God, the whole list of the more benign forms of sex crimes.
Okay.
And the Serrazzo has to be low to moderate, or moderate. It has to be low, moderate, or moderate, the test. And only certain doctors and people can perform these tests, so it has to be performed, it has to come back with that level. That's a period of 10 years commencing with the person's initial registration date. The 10 years starts from the first day you register. The person is not convicted of a registrable offense or any felony offense. For the 10-year period, the person was not convicted of more than one felony of the act, meaning of the entire penal code. And the person is required by the court to register as a Tier 1 offender pursuant to 290.006, which I'll discuss. Tier 1 basically is for lightweight offenders, bottom line. You can see, obviously. It's for lightweight offenders. Real serious stuff is not going to be a Tier 1 consideration. It'll move on to a Tier 2 or further. But understand, any crime can require registration. It doesn't need to be a 290 crime listed in 290. You could be charged with just simple residential burglary. I broke into a woman's house with the purpose of smelling her underpants or something like that, some crazy sexual compulsion, something. It could be any crime. If the judge makes a finding that crime was motivated by some type of sexual compulsion or some type of some type of sexual deviance, and the crime was committed in furtherance of that, based upon this compulsion or abuse or something, that can be a registrable offense, even though it's not a 290 offense. 290.006, the judge can say, I'm ordering you to register. Even though it's not a registrable offense, I believe you need to register based upon your background or the nature of the crime or whatever. And that would require your lawyer, if the DA is jumping along that line, and then your lawyer will know that, you want to get your good psychological evaluation, or 2 or 3 to show, no. That person shouldn't have to register, because it'd be a damn shame that your client's got to register on a sex crime that's not even a registrable offense. That's really, really going outside the box, but if it shows that there's some sexual compulsion, this guy's breaking into people's homes to wear ladies' underwear. Not that it's a big deal these days anymore, transgender, I mean, hey, actually we live in a new world, but something of any sexual deviance. I just broke into your home, I never touched anyone. No child porn, nothing. I just broke into the home in order to look at the underwear. Judge might make a determination if that's based on sexual compulsion abuse, I would require registration for a guy like that. On a RSOL, that can require registration in of itself. So 290.006 gives judges discretion about that registration. Now, last thing is, if you're convicted